welcome to another Free.volous webisode. Today we are going to talk about the very hard to get, the ordinary foundation. I have the Serum version, which is more lightweight and more meant to normal to drier skin types, and then you have the coverage foundation, which is a bit more amped up in terms of coverage, and it probably will be better for more oily skin types. I've ordered both, but because they are always out of stock, this was the one that I got for now. I'm waiting for the other one, and this is the one I'm going to review for you today. Let me just talk to you about the prices. The Serum foundation is £5.70 in the Victoria Health website where I got mine, and the coverage foundation is £5.90. So this is an unbeatable in terms of prices. I know that in the US you get Wet n Wild and whatnot, but in my country it doesn't get more affordable than this. Just saying. But that doesn't mean anything if the product is shit. So let's talk about the shade range. They have 21 shades of each type of foundation. So 21 of the Serum, 21 of the coverage. Amazing shade range. Big brands, put your eyes on the ordinary. And when it comes to the shades, they are divided in 1, 2 and 3, so light, medium and neutral, and within the 1, 2 and 3 you have several shades. So you have 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 2.0, 2.1, I don't know if they have the 2.2, and so on and so forth. You can check it on the website. And for each shade they have a Y for yellow, N for neutral and P for pink undertones. So you get really well served. People with darker skin tones can get catered. People with really light skin tones can get catered. And I'm happy. So kudos, bonus points for that. The other bonus point is the packaging. Let's talk about smart packaging here, people. It's plastic, but it looks like glass. It looks nice. It looks it looks high-end. It does look high-end. I've seen high-end foundations looking a lot shabbier than this. And it's plastic. You can travel with it. And it has a pump, so the product is sealed in. No air or light coming through. I mean, it's translucent, so some light comes through, but this doesn't have antioxidants or anything, so it's okay. But it's locked tight, and the pump has a lock. It's the little things, people. This is brilliant to travel with, and the ordinary, if you're listening, do this to all of your skincare range with opaque bottles or not, but do this for your whole skincare range. It would be so good to travel with. I'm going to travel, and when you watch this video, I'll be out of this country in the mountains, and it was a pain to pack my skincare because they're all glass bottles and they're all so fancy and droppers and whatnot. I don't care. I prefer a pump, a squeezy tube, something that is practical, something like this. Perfectly fine. I don't mind. Let's compare. Let's compare. Glass, broken because I tried to travel with it, and it's heavy, bulky. These have the same amount of product, 30 mils. So now let's talk about the product application in itself. Because I woke up extremely early this morning, I could not bear to talk to the camera and wake up the whole building, so I did this in silence, and you are going to watch me apply the foundation while I talk you through what I did. So because this is a serum foundation, this does not hide from you that this is more of a hydrating foundation. And because I've used this before, I decided to use a primer, and you know that I only do this in extreme situations. I don't want the products to start with a disadvantage, and this isn't exactly made for my combination verging on oily when it's hot skin type. So I use the Hourglass Mineral Veil Mineral Primer, the names. And I used a little bit of that. When it comes to the texture, this foundation is very similar to the NYX Total Control Drop Foundation or the Shiseido Synchro Skin. It's a very liquidy foundation, and I applied one pump to my hand, and I didn't use all of it, just so you know. And I took what was on the back of my hand, I applied it onto my face with my fingers, and then I proceeded to buff it in very gently, just patting it in almost with my 104 Buffer Brush by Zoeva, which is one of my favorites for very thin and extremely thick foundations. So I really like this brush, and if you can get your hands on it, it never lets me down. And then you can see right off the bat that it gave me sort of a very evened out skin tone, a bit like the Shiseido Synchro Skin. It evens out my skin, but it still looks definitely like skin, so I really enjoyed that. And then to show you that it can be built up to an extreme, to a point, because this is a very sheer medium, light to medium coverage foundation, I applied an extra bit on my scarred areas on the sides of my cheeks, and again I pressed it in very gently with my brush. It melted into itself. It created sort of a beautiful layer of pigment, elastic layer of pigment on my skin, and it covered a little bit better. Of course, with all of this you have to use concealer as usual. You know, this is not meant to be a full coverage foundation, but it did cover and even out my skin, and it is really nice in that terms. In terms of claims, they don't claim. This is a serum textured natural coverage foundation that softens undesirable hues and visibly reduces imperfections. And I'm not testing it on the claims of being very long lasting. I'm not testing on it for making my skin be 10 years younger. It doesn't have all those claims. It's a simple foundation, and it did what it said on the tin. As you can see on the up close, it can get a little bit creasy on my laugh lines, but everything does. And it doesn't enhance any pores, texture, or dryness, dry flaky bits. It's really good. I think that more dry skin types will like this for that purpose. And when it comes to working it with other products, it worked beautifully both with creams and powders. I ended up setting it, especially on the areas where I had built it up a bit more, with a bit of powder. Nothing unusual there, but just so you know. And I did not set it with a setting spray, which I would do on a normal day. And you can see from the up close, it looks really nice, and it does what it says on the tin. So first thoughts, this is a very liquidy foundation. It has silicone base. It has sort of a demi-dewy finish, so if you're not a fan, or if you're very oily, probably you won't like this. I had to use a bit of a primer to make sure that I would give this one a shot for my skin type. It blends beautifully. It's basically almost invisible on its own. When you apply a little bit of powder, it sort of starts to look a little bit more noticeable on the skin, and it gives that light medium coverage. I don't have too much to cover for now, so these are my first impressions. Let's see how it behaves throughout the day. Hey, I'm at a cafe. I'm just on a break. I just did a dubbing session. I hope you can hear me okay. It's 12 o'clock on the dot, and let's see how it's going. It has creased a little bit here, and it looks a bit oily. I'm in front of a big window, so this is natural lighting, but it's overcast, so it's there. But anyway, it's still there. It's hanging on. It's a bit shiny, but that's normal. And yeah, I don't have much makeup left here because of the headphones, but other than that, it's still going strong. It looks a bit dewy, and I'm going to blot just on the sides of my nose. I have a little bit of, it has worn out a little bit here underneath my nose because I have allergies, but other than that, it's still here. It's not creasing in any weird way. Those are my natural lines, wrinkles, you know, it's wrinkles, let's own it. And I haven't applied product here. This is a concealer. But yeah, it looks pretty nice for the 4 and something hours mark, and I'm going to blot. I'm not going to use any powder, just blotting, and I'll be back with another update in I don't know when, but a while. Hey, so I'm back home. It's 6:16 p.m. So it's been 11 hours, a little bit under 11 hours since I've applied the foundation, and it's still going strong actually. As you can see, I'm a bit shiny. I've blotted twice throughout the day. I haven't applied powder, and let's get to see it from up close. We're enjoying a little bit of natural lighting right now because the sun has come out in the afternoon and it's been really hot and sweaty. It has faded on my scars, but it's still, my skin is pretty even still. I don't have anything left on my nose because I've been wearing glasses, and nothing around my mouth because I ate. But there are no dry patches being accentuated, there is no creasing. I've applied a little bit to my forehead and it's still covering some of the blemishes. Again, it has faded a little bit with the oils on my skin. So my thoughts on this foundation: it is really lightweight, it feels nice on skin, moisturizing. It's not one of those that feels matte or drying, or that feels like nothing. It feels like you have something moisturizing on the skin. And I actually wasn't expecting for this foundation to behave as well on my skin as it did. Of course, with a little bit of help. As I said, I used the Hourglass primer, which is a good primer to make things stick for a while. And I used a little bit of powder, as I usually do, but that helped setting the center areas of my face and the areas where I've applied extra makeup, so the bronzer and whatnot, those areas are more locked in. So yeah, I feel that this is a very good everyday foundation, not just only for the price. I hate that expression, it just minimizes the product itself sometimes, and I feel that this is a good foundation on its own. It's more dedicated to those with drier skin types, normal to drier skin types, but a combo skin type like mine, I think you can pull, if you have it, you can pull it off with a little bit of help. I've tried this without anything and it didn't linger on my skin for much longer. But to give you a little bit of a comparison, in terms of coverage and finish, I find this to be pretty similar to the It Cosmetics CC cream, which I can do an up close and personal on if you'd like. So let me know in the comments below. In terms of finish and the overall look of the foundation and the feel of the foundation, the type of coverage that it gives, which is really nice with this one also, I feel that these are pretty similar despite the difference in initial texture. So this is more of a cream, this is more of a liquidy foundation. And I find them to be quite similar in terms of appearance, but I find that the ordinary one lasts quite longer on my skin if it has a little bit of help, while this one, the It Cosmetics one, no matter what I do, it only lasts about, I don't know, 4 hours, 6 hours, and it has absolutely faded. When it comes to the wear of this foundation, the ordinary foundation, I really like the type of wear that it has. It doesn't leave patches all over my face. It just starts to fade and it melts with the oils on my skin, as you have noticed. But it doesn't leave patches. It doesn't leave any dryness lurking around, looking really weird and crackly. So it's the type of wear that I like to see in a foundation, because it eventually, especially on my skin, it ends up wearing off. So the best thing that I can hope for a foundation is to wear off with a little bit of dignity, which I think this has. This has, I think, an SPF of 15. Am I crazy? Yes, SPF of 15, it says so on the box. So it's an added bonus, but again, you apply this once in the morning. You're not going to apply this again and again and again throughout the day, so you need to reapply sunscreen, but it's a good thing to have in a foundation anyway. So these are my impressions on this foundation. If you have managed to get your hands on this one, let me know of your impressions down below. Share your experience and let people know about your type of skin so that everybody knows what they're dealing with and what type of information may suit them. And thank you for stopping by, and thank you for being there, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!